A warm welcome to you, friends, and a warm welcome to you and your colleagues from the State High Commissioner, High Commission Excellency. Let me introduce you to Mr. Fernando, who presented his credentials to the President of India only last month. He is been High Commissioner to India since November 2018. A seasoned civil servant, he served his country in several prominent positions. Worked as Secretary to President Maithripala Sirisena since July 2017. Before that, he served as Governor of the Eastern Province from January 2015. He was educated at Richmond College, Galle, and graduated from the University of Peradeniya. He has an MBA degree from the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Mr. Fernando taught at the Nagoda Royal College before joining the Sri Lankan Administrative Service in 1967. That's equivalent to the Indian Administrative Service or IAS in India. He was government agent, known in India as collector, district collector, for Polonnaruwa and Nuwara Eliya districts. Later, he was Commissioner of Cooperative Development and Postmaster General. He served as Secretary at the Ministries of Rehabilitation, Public Administration, Home Affairs and Provincial Councils. After retiring from the SLAS in 1996, he worked as a consultant to the United Nations Habitat Center and spent some time in Chennai. He was appointed Defense Secretary in December 2001 and has chronicled his experiences during that assignment in his book entitled My Belly is White, Reminiscences of a Peacetime Secretary of Defense. A warm welcome to you, Mr. High Commissioner. We had your predecessor before she went back, and once I was having a chat with your president, Jayawardhan, and he suddenly said, I love India. He was the president at that time. I said, why do you love India? He said, because it gave birth to sons like the Buddha and Gandhi. So Ravana notwithstanding, Indians.
May I just thank the club, the SCC, and Kumar for having invited me to be a guest speaker today. When I was invited, first he wanted me to speak on Indo-Sri Lanka relationships, which I declined. You all know better than I do. I have been here only for 2 months. Whereas you are being there either from the or even from the and various stakeholders. Then I agreed to speak on a subject which I thought I know a little bit better than the relationship between India and Sri Lanka. But I must say, in Jana's terms, that our relationships are at its heights, very high level. We are maintaining that. I think if you had seen some of the Sri Lankan newspapers, you would see that Indian government, through the Reserve Bank of India, gave us $400 million stock, currency stock last week, and then extended the repayment of some money under ACU, Asian Currency Union. And the 434 million and 834 million for Sri Lanka is not a small amount. Therefore, if we are not at the top level of relationships, we won't have a. Therefore, I must say that our relationships are great. The subject I have been given to speak about is about post-2015 reconciliation milestones in Sri Lanka. Of course, I also proposed that something of that nature should be given to me to speak. The relief and rehabilitation were two main topics of interest to the people who were affected by the conflict in Sri Lanka for nearly 26 years. And even after the conflict was over. And it was considered very important by the internationals, by the civil society, and various other organizations also, UN, EU, all these people were considering it as very important. I think that was the case in regard to the defense rehabilitation. But after the conflict was over, in addition to rehabilitation, reconstruction, the humanitarian law and the human rights law and how it is being implemented in Sri Lanka became very important. And it was a major concern. It became a major concern of all the stakeholders who are there and who are observing our activities. And the term reconciliation achieved this importance due to as a result of this status, where things have been questioned at various stages, at various places. It was questioned how we have been working in this matter. What we faced as government in January 2015 was the final outcome of these contradicting situations, because people, the media was saying various things which was being discussed internationally, and violent politicians also within the country also were doing our activities seriously, especially the Tamil political parties and the Muslim political parties. Now, what we faced in 2015 was not a sudden development. It had some evolution that was taking place after the end of the war. In 2009, I may briefly state what had happened in 2009. After the conflict was over, our first international visitor was Secretary General of the UN, His Excellency LANKAN, the Secretary General, came there on the 23rd of May. And he had various discussions with many parties, inclusive politicians, and civil society, all these people, and went and saw what had been happening in the area where the people were affected, the northeast, south, everywhere they had gone. Then he came into they made a joint statement, which is quite important. I will rush through the whole process because I want to see on other issues also. The joint statement mainly gave showed certain concerns of the Secretary General and the response of the President as a head of state. Now, firstly said it offered the long-term development of the North, re-establishment of democratic institutions and electoral politics. Secondly, to address the aspirations and grievances of all communities, work towards the last-stage political solution, long-term socio-economic development, and evolve a national solution acceptable to all the people in the country. Thirdly, President Rajapaksa firmly resolved to implement the 13th Amendment and to begin a dialogue with all parties, including member parties, to achieve peace and development in the whole country for that time. Fourthly, it was agreed to focus on humanitarian assistance, dismantling of camps, reintegrating to the society the former child soldiers. These were mainly. The fifth one was to promote and protect human rights in keeping with international human rights standards and Sri Lankan international obligations. Now, the Secretary General finally, he underlined the importance of an accountability process for addressing violation of international humanitarian laws, and Sri Lanka stated that she will take necessary measures to address these grievances. Now, when the joint communique was issued, it appears that coverage has been given to almost everything what was demanded by the affected parties and the diaspora people. and media and the inventors. So that was a very important issue because it was put in very lighter terms. The language was very light, it was not very specific, and very broad. Shall I say, it was drawn with the broad brush, shall I say, what was expected. And with this at this stage, there were certain countries, I don't want to mention names, who were interested in asking for more things than what has been there in the statement, because it was, as I said, drawn with a broad brush. But then I think the then government decided that they should go before the UNHRC, and they produced a document, and that resolution, it was 11/1, titled Assistance to Sri Lanka in the Promotion and Protection of Human Rights, was tabled, and it was approved with 29 plus, 12 minuses, and 6 abstentions. Now, this one went into much more detailed activity, and this was proposed by the government of Sri Lanka. So it is our own promise of what we should do, what we will do. It had that is the question. It said there is no final resolution by military means. So that means you can have negotiations and the dialogue can take place. There is a commitment of political solutions with the implementation of 13th Amendment, prioritizing provisions of assistance to ensure relief and rehabilitation of persons affected. Then provision of humanitarian assistance, and assured no discrimination against anybody on language, religion, or whatever it is. Then endorsed the communique by the Secretary General and President Rajapaksa, and urged the international community to assist Sri Lanka in achieving these aims. Now, these are things which have been put in much more specific terms than the joint communique. So I am sure the internationals at the UNHRC would have definitely thought that this was a good move, and they are going towards reconciliation, and it was so. But for whatever reason, the President decided to have the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission, LANKAN, and he appointed this on 15th of May 2010. I wonder whether it was because of the pressure he was getting, because there was some political pressure on him about what had happened and the way how he had handled it. For whatever reason, he appointed this commission, and the commission gave its report on 11th November 2011, which emphasized, it was the people before that commission, the members of the commission, were all very senior, responsible, professional people, and they came out with a report which was very favorable to reconciliation. They said, okay, emphasize all allegations should be investigated, then adopt a comprehensive approach to address the issues of missing persons. The Commission emphasized that the relatives of missing persons have a right to know what had happened to their kids and things like that. It went on with a lot of things which were very favorable for reconciliation. And a revolution also, if the revolution has to take place. Then the international community watched the situation for a while, about 2 years, and found that the manner in which things are being implemented by the government of Sri Lanka is not so favorable. Then they came out with another proposal that was 19/2 of March 2011, 2012, and that was asking for implementation of the LLRC recommendation and to be very constructive about this matter. Still, I think we were not doing it to the satisfaction of the internationals, and the UNHRC in 2014 they came out with a proposal that we should take. We will have to take the High Commissioner gave a report in which he was asking for much more stern action against Sri Lanka. So, and then the government changed after that, and in 2015 we were faced with this problem of what has not happened and what has been promised has not been done. So we were in a difficult situation, and we were more or less getting into a situation where we would have been pummeled by the international community, if I'm going to say the experts. And then we had to come and meet the High Commission people, the UN Council people, some of the leading countries, for instance, US, UK, and then even India. We have leading players in the game. We have to meet with, and we got an extension of action to be taken. And then we came up with a proposal to the UN. The first thing we had to be involved at that point, the first thing we had done post 2016, because of the pressure we were getting from the international community, and at the UNHRC very openly, we had to come up with some proposals. There was a document which we prepared, which was given to the High Commissioner, His Excellency Hussain. And I was one of those people who prepared parts of that document. Of course, there were so many people who were getting involved, foreign affairs people, the political groups and lawyers and various problems getting involved. And we gave a proposal. We made ourselves clear to the UNHRC on 4 grounds, which everyone of you who is involved in reconciliation will know. The seeking truth, seeking justice, seeking reparation, and ensuring non-recurrence. These are the 4 pillars we followed. We gave a report, and myself was personally present in Geneva when it was given. And the High Commissioner took it off. And it was, we gave the message to the rest of the world that we are prepared to look at these things more constructively than it had been, and therefore let us don't take us to the guillotine. Just leave us to be finding solutions as we go on. Of course, these 4 pillars had to have certain institutional mechanisms that had to be there. Now I must say, in fairness to the government of Sri Lanka after 2015, the government appointed 4 committees. We call it the working group. And at that time I was a governor, and as a governor I was representing the Presidential Secretariat also, because I was an advisor to the President also at the time. And there were 4 committees, out of which I was a member of 3 committees. The first one was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. That is something which we wanted, because people had a right to know, and we have already agreed that we should do it. And the UNHRC also has told us also that we should do it. So therefore, we thought that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission should be established. And we had lawyers, and we had people from all communities sitting at it. We had operators who have been working in this. For example, we have an institution called the REPIA, and then we had people who have been working in the Commission General Research Services Department. We had all those people working together, and we drafted some documents, a concept paper. And although it was not our job to do making laws, we drafted some draft law also. It was not our job, but we thought it was to accelerate the pace. And I was a co-chairman of that committee with Professor Gunasekara, Southasia Gunasekara, who was a famous human rights activist in Sri Lanka. We did that. Then secondly, for truth seeking, and we wanted to have office of the missing persons. And that was also a concept paper we prepared. And the law was drafted, and it went up to the authorities who do that part of it. And that was also there. We did that. And I must say, I think the ICRC, the lady who was there with us, she said it's one of the best laws she had ever come across in her experience. Then about the reparation, I was chairing that committee, and we did that part of it also, and then it was also brought to notice of the government. The accountability mechanism, I was not in that, I am a lawyer, number one. Number two, really it is a very serious business working with lawyers who are very high level humanitarian law and human rights law people. It was left to some lawyer group in which I was not there. And but of course that didn't come out with a paper in public. Then the non-rigorous part of it was to be achieved through the constitutional change that was to be done by the government, for which they appointed a committee of 21 members of parliament. And that went, they appointed 6 subcommittees. I happen to be one of the consultants from 2 committees, one very active, the other one quite favorably. And that one was about the public administration part of it with provincial council, that is our equivalent to the state council, provincial council act and how it would be done. The second one was the center-periphery relationship part of it. That committee I was peripherally engaged. And the other one I was permanently engaged. In fact, in the report which I been tabled in the parliament, my name is also there as one of the consultants. Then we had these things. And then thanks to this activities we had taken, some progress took place. And the first was the truth seeking month, where we have prepared the concept paper. It was taken to the cabinet on 23rd October 2018. And of course, you may question me about why it's so delayed, why do you take 3 years? I think the reason is well known to you also. We were having a alliance government where the politicians, it's still not very easy to get equal respect for some of those things which we bring due to various political and personal reasons. So therefore, there was some, it's true that there were delays, for which I think we should regret about it. And it was taken to the cabinet, and cabinet was to get the legal draft and the draft legislation. But unfortunately, there was a request made. Unfortunately, we have 3 languages, Sinhalese, Tamil and English. There was only English copy of the concept paper, and that created a problem. And now it has been translated, but then when it was brought in at the end of October, there was no government. We had the calamity over there. So therefore, we can learn now the situation has been brought into under control. It may come one of these days to send the consideration continue to take place. About the OLP, we had this, and we got the law passed. Of course, there were, in our country we have one way of contesting a draft law, draft bill in the Supreme Court, and there was a case. But for this OLP, there was no case. No one went to court. Then it went to the parliament. But there was civil society and NGOs who are against the OLP being appointed. They started making a website. Even with that, we managed to get the government managed to get it approved, and the commissioners were appointed on the 28th of February. Only thing is there is no judicial review of what was happening here, and therefore some of the affected people were not very happy. In the north, for example, there were people who were protesting about it. When we were been told by the ICRP, the person is not in charge, the representative, that is one of the best laws he has come across in the world. So anyway, these are political matters which we as administrators could not manage. Anyway, but the OMP now, it has been functioning so well. Now the people accept it, and they have started going to the committees in the north and the south, everywhere. They have ordered, they are meeting people. People are now happy with that issue, otherwise they would come for these matters. And then we had, I think, the following of Sri Lankan matter. In Mena, there was a case of a mass grave, But where we have been, the OMP has been really helpful, even financing some of the activities, even to get tests done in Florida, so all those things. They are part and parcel of the people's request about what has happened in that particular case. So only thing is, it is very difficult to find answers for people these things because some of those documentation, then the people who could give evidence, there are certain difficulties, but they are managing it. And he's headed by a senior lawyer, and he's doing well, I must say. Then, Office of Reparations, which I chaired the working group, the report was there, but it took a little time. Because you can imagine the situation when someone says, why are you paying compensation to the LGB fathers who are dying? Now, this is the way how people think. This politics in our country is such that we have that type of arguments put forward by certain people. Some people say, no, aren't you paying others? No, we pay. Even the military people, if there was a case, we will pay. Even someone who is civilian who has been affected, reparation will be done. That is the part of the law. Now the law was passed, and October 10, it was passed by the Parliament. Then we have a process once again to appoint the members of the commission, the commissioners. It has to go to an institution called the Parliamentary Committee, the Constitutional Council we call it. Now the Constitutional Council has called for applications on 3rd of January. Yesterday was the final day. I think I hope you will receive some applications, and then the commission, the Parliamentary Committee will decide on numbers, and probably in a month or so we may have the reparations unit working. About the accountability mechanism, as I said, my involvement was pretty little, but I am aware, I have been told by the lawyers that there are certain constitutional restraints on appointing outsiders, foreigners. I am saying this because all of you are aware that in the UNHRC there was something. Because I think this question was asked from His Excellency High Commissioner of the UNHRC, His Excellency Said today. And his answer was, it's a matter for the government of the, you have to just make your own case and then do it. The foreign input, the understanding of some people is that foreign input can be managed. Not as judges because there are some constraints in it. I don't know whether in India the foreign judges come and can do their cases, I don't know. In our case it is not there. Of course we had this, some even lawyers who were an appear in our court, that's the because of the way how we have got 2 years old. Before 1972, it was allowed when we were a colony of, we had some, our interstate was experienced at that time, even after everything. So therefore, we have certain restrictions, but of course, the people should start negotiating, having a dialogue. But how the foreigners could, for example, if it is the technical support in making laws and all that, you can have it. I think some of you may be aware of a gentleman by the name Justice Noguchi from Japan, who have been coming to us and we have been meeting him. He has said that even the Truth and Reconciliation Commission or OMP or that type of accountability mechanism, even the court that should come out should be of a different nature than what the ordinary court. So that is the way how experts look at it. I don't know, I'm not an expert on this criminal law. But then this is the way how the international, some of the experts when we work in Cambodia and all that, may make reference to some of these issues. Then land release is another matter. There are people having yes, the problem is there is a problem of land which has been owned by individuals, private land, and then there is something state land, state land that has been released. I checked up the figures. of this one, I got it down from Colombo to Bali. There have been total release is 74% and still in use 26% of the land belonging to these people. State land, the land released in 2015 to 2018 is given state and private, and the land released is 40,488 acres. So anyway, the numbers are that private land since October 30th, 2015 to January 9th, 2019, the security forces have released 17,503 acres of state land and 4,334 acres of private land in the northern and eastern provinces. Out of the remaining private land to the northern province is 3,462, and then they have given me the figures of various areas of how many acres are being held by the Army and the Air Force. But then I have my personal experience as governor of the Eastern Province, the famous Sampur project, Sampur resettlement project. We had some land which was occupied by the Navy. We got that out. Of course, we gave some land for the Navy somewhere else out of the state land to have their training camp, and then got the people back to the land. If we can get them back to the land in any place, it's the best thing that will happen. Even the UN has considered that as a system, and then the Pinhiro principles of UN have been accepted in 2011 or 2012. And we have that type of interest to give the land back to the people. But then one has to consider the background situation of the 26-year war, and here and there once again we are finding certain signals of some of those things broken. And then we find that if you have some sort of I quote it, suspicion on of something happening once again, the government state should have the freedom to have their security first in proper place. Of course, I am not for a moment saying my land has been taken, so private house has been taken by the army or the navy. I will not like that. I understand. But at the same time, the country's security also is important. That is the status taken by the military administrators and some of the politicians also. But as far as possible, this land which has been taken over should be given to the person who owned it. And if there's no way of taking it, even the Pinhiro principles permit that, you must take compensation and finish it off, so that there is no delaying people not getting the land and not getting any compensation, or at least some reservation has to take place. And that is one thing which has to be kept in mind. But then we would like the people also to cooperate with the government. Then I think it is happening also. In certain areas in the north, people have agreed to stop some land from the state instead of going back and fighting for the same block of land for reasons which are very easily understandable. Then we have the Presidential Task Force on Coordinating and Monitoring Development Activities in the Northern Eastern area, chaired by the President. This land matter is reviewed all the time, and it is I think it's a very difficult task because no one wants to give up. At the same time, there are other options also for land in a small island like ours. The resettlement are displaced as at September 30th, 2018, 882 and 882,216 internal displaced people, belonging to 257,633 families in the northern and eastern provinces have been resettled. The total number remaining to be resettled is 35,954. And we know in conflict situations there have been this type of situation, and there have been wars due to this resettlement issues. So we are slowly going in, and we are trying to be making way for the people to resettle as quickly as possible. And there's a package will be given to people who are being resettled. Then the refugees and the question is a big problem for India also. I have been myself, after coming here, I have been having discussions with the refugees back. I think about 5,000 or 6,000 people have been taken earlier. Now we are planning to take some more. And in fact, I want to go to Chennai and start talking to the people there, and then we will take them back. And we will have a package to be given. Of course, the Indian government also, we are asking the Indian government also to help us in certain areas. And then I hope something will happen. And the biggest number is here, the refugee population, because the displaced people are here. Then we have done we have taken some things which people don't talk about in the rest of the world. For example, criminalizing enforced disappearance. The Parliament enacted the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearances, action on March 7, 2018. People don't talk about it. The Protection of Victims and Crimes of Witness Act of 4/2015 was passed on March 7, 2015. People don't talk about it. And that is to ensure that people come before a court or near the inquiry. And you must give evidence without any problem. Then prevention of torture. All right, we have torture everywhere taking place. And if anyone has read the CAT report, which was given by our Human Rights Commission in 2017, it was one of the damning type of stricture against the government's activities we have been doing that. Of course, we have not been hiding it. We have said that the torture is there. And we are trying to see that torture is not, and torture doesn't take place, but then torture happens everywhere. We are not happy with this. We are not at all happy with torture. And the numbers are going down, so it will have to be brought back to normal as we go on. Then the review and repeal of the TTA Act, the Counter-Terrorism Act. There are a lot of problems because even from the military will always take the position that terrorism cannot be handled without this sort of tough law. And those are sometimes this law is a little bit inhuman law. I agree with that. And then there are a lot of discussions going on with the UN, with various other countries, ICRC and all that. And then after that, the repeal of the TTA Act has taken place. It was drafted. Of course, there is delay. Someone goes to Supreme Court and blocks it. And then we have to go on, and then after everything, the Supreme Court on October 23rd, 2018 concluded its hearing on the petitions and instructed to file written submissions thereon before 26th of October 2018. And then the court would have gone on vacation after that. And then still we have said, I don't have any information about it, but it's being pursued. Then our strengthening of the National Human Rights Commission also done after 2015. And so much so, in March 2018, our Human Rights Commission was reaccredited with the A status by the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions. So people can go there and go there. I don't say that everything is walkie-talkie in our system, but definitely there's an improvement of the human rights activity and the people can go. And the National Human Rights Action Plan has been prepared, and this is to be then active engagement. One problem that was there from 2009 onwards, the UN resolution. Everyone said, please go and allow people to come, and then let the UN people come and let them discuss your issues. But it was not allowed. But then, what we have done after 2015 is that we have become a state party to international conventions since January 2015, like International Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Optional Protocol to the Convention Against Torture, and other cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment or punishment. Convention on the provision of the use of stockpile, production and transfer of anti-personnel mines. Convention on first munitions in March 2018. So we have been doing things which people have not been doing earlier before the 2015 government came to power. Then we hosted a special envoy of the Ottawa Treaty, HR Prince Vired Rad Al-Hussein, and the UN Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Kirkman. 8 thematic special procedure mandate holders have been coming. I have been meeting many people who have been coming as a governor. I have been meeting them. Then we have constructive dialogue with 6 UN treaty bodies since 2015. And then we have the following visits are scheduled. Visit of Subcommittee of Prevention of Torture on 31st March to 11th April this year. Visit of independent experts against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. That is in 27th May. Visit of special rapporteur on the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. That is from 15 to 26 July. Visit of SR on freedom, religion, and belief. That is there. So I think I have spoken at length. I know it's not a short presentation, although I thought I would be long. But I told Mr. Venkataraman that I will take about 35 minutes. I think I take about a little over that. We have spoken sufficiently to prove how the post-2015 government has acted to reconcile the split Sri Lankan society after a long conflict under the constituency test. And in life, sometimes we live with optimism, but within our own means. In political management, this has other reasons to be bothered. We are dealing with some political creatures on both the demand and supply side for reconciliation. They are not easy to satisfy. In a nutshell, this is what we have experienced post-2015 in managing reconciliation. Of course, we have not given up our commitment to reach the highest possibility in reconciliation. We as a government want to serve our people and it is our responsibility. I hope you in the international media also would gladly support our cause. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, High Commissioner. That is a very exhaustive presentation about the situation in Sri Lanka. 4 months from now, we have completed 10 years after finishing of the LTTE. So there is relative peace and calm, and the session is now open to questions.
Nearly 2 lakh travel refugees in India. What is the time frame that you're looking at to bringing them back?
That's a very good question. Because refugees, I'm thinking of the refugees in India. The refugees are there in Canada, the refugees are there in UK and France, and I'm not sometimes to talk about them. Because I have been involved in this one with Mr. Chandra Hassan's, especially with Mr. Late FERNANDO's, Mr. Nana's son, and this team of people. We have been checking up the situation in FERNANDO, and then the problem is out of the total of about 100,000 who are here in India, roughly, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like that. Sorry?
Roughly 2 lakhs.
No, I was told that it was about 100,000. Anyway, the number is immaterial. But there are some people who want to remain here. Number one. They think that this will be about 30% or so, 20%, 30%, the percentage we don't know. So they will remain there. And the balance will like to go. But then people who have lost their houses, lost their lands, lost their livelihood, when they get back to their own places, we must assure them that their houses may not be there, all blasted sometimes after a conflict situation, intense conflict situation. But they will to be looked after so that they should have a roof above their heads. They must have other facilities, sanitation, water and various things. Then they must have some livelihood capacity. So people have to be taken back on the understanding that they will be safe there. They must be safe. They must have some roof on their head, they must have some livelihood, their children have to be given education, they must be giving health facilities. So it's a very complex situation. So I don't think that the number can be taken immediately. Tomorrow, thinking that we can take 60,000 of visas is completely out. That's daydreaming if you want to do that. So therefore, it has to be planned. That is what I said. I want to go down to and meet my deputy and the people there, and the Indian government people also, and let us find out. Just I can't give an exact time to him, but I would be happy if I can take them as soon as possible. Because they must return to their own area. That is one. Second thing is, I think over here in India also, without any malice to any political group or whatever it is, anything aimed at attacking anybody, I must say that here also there is some sort of a organized attempt sometimes, or even if it is not organized, some attempt here is there where some people would like to have them here also in India, because that can be something like the beggar's wound, where people can be making various noises and during election time and all that. So that is also there. I think we have to be careful about that. I am not trying to be having to be criticizing anybody, not at all. But then we have found that they have to be there. So we have to win some sort of thing. Then the other thing is, I think, in fact, I have discussed the matter with the Deputy High Commissioner who was there in India just before I came here, about there are issues like how many kilograms can we take out when you go there? Why do you want to take us to Karunayak and take us to this place? Can we take them otherwise? So there are so many logistical problems also like that. So I understand the difficulty, and I understand the difficulty of the refugees. I understand the difficulty of the High Commissioner in operating because of the other constraints I have. So let us pray that we get the real assistance from all quarters so that we can do it in an efficient way.
In Southasia Bureau. This is regarding reconciliation. We have been talking about reconciliation. My question is how the majoritarian community, Sinhalese, are reconciled to reconciliation. Are they ready? Is the Sri Lankan society polity are really ready to reconcile with the minority Tamilians in Sri Lanka? You think that the post-LTTE phase is the politicians are facilitating that kind of a situation, circumstances where the true reconciliation can take place, and where the Tamilians, their genuine demands can be really met? Or it's not the question of the refugees going back and coming. Do you think Sri Lankan society, you think in the last 10 years has really evolved into accepting this kind of a reconciliation?
I have two answers to your question. Number one, I told at the, I rushed through, but this my presentation will be available from Ram and Narayan probably. Now I went through a lot of things which we have done after 2015. That is during the last 4 years, what we have done, and all those things are material to have a reconciled society. So that is one. That is the. But of course, these things are. I don't think you all have been hearing anyone taking this as a part of reconciliation effort. No one would have taken note of. And then, for example, OMP. It is in operation for only less than 1 year. But the impact it has had. Take the Mana case. Mana mass grave is being handled by totally professionals. All of them are Sinhalese. Professor Somadev, Dr. Amar Singh, and then people who are working on this matter. Everybody, and the OMP chairman is a Sinhalese person. They don't care to vote. They wouldn't allow anyone to come and use the anti-Tamil business. They are the people who are taking these things to Florida for checking up, 6 this thing. Then when last week, when they found that some bodies have been tied up with something, they immediately took up the position. They went on, and so I think it has to happen as a slow in a slow process. You can't have it overnight. Can we think that the Tamil population will have the same respect? I will tell you one good example. I was Secretary Rehabilitation in 1986 to 88. I was a very young man at the time, 44 years, I was Secretary of Ministry. I went to Teripalai Junction with a World Bank team. And then when we went there wasn't a person to give me a cup of tea. We were in a company, we were spreading ourselves. There was one of the former cooperative inspectors who saw me. He came and said, "Sir, come along, we'll go and have something. We had some vade and Coca-Cola in a shop." Do you know that this is the very same place that was in 87? This is the very same place 5 years before, when I went as the Commissioner of Cooperatives. They put up pandals to receive me. They had those drums being played when I to receive me. So that's the difference. 82 it was that, 87 this was that. Because between 82 and 87 there had been some other problems. So therefore, these are things which happen slowly. So give us time, Of course, I don't say give us another 50 years to do this. I am not for a moment saying that. But then this has to happen, because it is a matter of human mind turning around. It is a matter where the religious people turn around. It is a matter where dramatists and musicians turn around. It is a matter where media turns around. Part of your job is to do that also. Then I'll tell you another. We had the Navy, I said, in Sampur. This area was occupied by them for 10 years. A Tamilian could not go across that place. No one could go across that place to go to their own village. But when I went as governor, I still remember, within 2 weeks I went to this place. When I saw the people, I felt sorry. They were suffering in camps. I went and spoke to them. They said, "Please, let us go back." Then I came back and spoke to the Navy Commander, Secretary of Defense, and then to the government agent. There's a collector here. We did all that work. Within 6 months, we got the lands back. I still remember when I went to Geneva. I met Mr. Hugo Swire, the British State Minister of Foreign Affairs. When I was introduced by our Minister of Foreign Affairs to him, when he said, "Your Excellency, this is FERNANDO. He is the governor of East." He said, "I have heard about him." People look at us. Mr. Hugo Swire knew me by name. I had never met him earlier, and I never met him afterwards either. So, therefore, if you wanted to have a dialogue, you must have the commitment. I, as the governor, I had the commitment to ensure that the Tamils go back to there. It's totally 100% Tamil. And if you go there today, please do. If you go to Sri Lanka, go there. I put up a hospital with 24 beds. It's a small community. I put up a hospital, 24 beds, totally new hospital. Everything was taken. We didn't have money. I went and told the Secretary of Finance. I said, "Samrutunga, I want this money." And he said, "Sir, how to find money?" I said, "No, there's no negotiation on that. I have brought the people. Otherwise, I will ask the people to get back to the camps where they were." Immediately money came. So there are various tactics which have been used by the bureaucracy, by the politicians, but of course by the affected people. They also must take up the position that we also must cooperate with the government on this matter. So I think people have the last 10 years, at least last 4 years, there is a definite change on this attitude. And that's why, now there was a time when the governors of, before 2015, governors of North and East never spoke like this. But the former they were governors, they never spoke like that. Now the governor, Austin Fernando, when he goes there, he speaks a different language. So that is the change that has taken place. Of course, this is not sudden. Things have not happened suddenly, and their things will not correct suddenly either.
Mike, I've got two questions. One question is about the enforced disappearance of Tamils. There are camps where enforced disappearance of Tamils. During the civil war, there were thousands of Tamilians who have got no record of their kins and kids. And in northern Sri Lanka, especially, in Jaffna and in Babunia, there are camps where the women are protesting for years. What the government is doing to address the concerns, because their allegation is that nobody from the current dispensation has reached out to them. And my second question is the mounting debt of Sri Lankan economy in context of Chinese investment. Could you please talk about a little bit on that as well?
When you say enforce, that means enforcement has been done by somebody. There are cases of enforced disappearances. Now, for example, the 5 children's case, not enforced, 11 children, and there have been some other cases in north and east also. Now, in the LRRC report, certain names are mentioned. I don't want to mention names because it's not fair by me. When the guy is not here, I should not mention names. There are names mentioned about the people who have been enforced, and that had happened not by the military. Now, usually when you say enforced disappearance, you think about the people who have arms and ammunition, who take people away and all that. I had a case where 9 cases were brought to me by NGO, and I had a chat with them. Out of 9, they said, there's a next of kin who came to see me had 3 cases, I presume. They said it's by police or army or something like that. Other 6 cases by LTT leadership. They mentioned names also. And so some of those names are in the LRRC report. I know it has not been followed up. It's a little bit of embarrassment to us, I know that. But at the same time, there was enforcement, enforced disappearances that were taking place because of the LTT doing this. I think both parties may have had something to do with it, but the government doesn't say that they have done it. No government will say that. No government will say that we did it, because I think that's a part of politics in the world. So, in some of the cases, for example, the 11 people who have been taken away and supposed to have been killed, there's investigation going on. That you may say that why cannot you do it soon? Why are you taking so much of time for the 11? I can understand if you were a relation of this, you will even placard me in filth and tell me that it should not be like that. Yes, but if you are just trying to take some people into custody and doing it without any strong evidence, those guys will go to courts, and in court they will just put out. Then you allege that we had done it to allow them to run away. Then that is there. And then people have been taken away and not taken to courts also during certain times in certain countries. And when you do that, then people will pinpoint and say, you are not having good governance. You don't have transparency in what you do. You don't respect the rule of law. These are the ingredients of good governance law. So that also will be there. So therefore, I understand the feeling of some of the people next of kin, whose people have been taken away and disappeared. And we have the OMP. Go and tell the OMP, my people have been disappeared. Let them find out. They have all the powers to get information, get documentation, do various tests, DNA tests, and other whatever tests you want to do. Here, there's an organization for that. So people who have this, and they are coming also, I must say, in fairness to the people, and in fairness to OMP, people are coming. The problem is they is not spoken about so publicly, although there is something happening. There's an interim report which was issued by the OMP, and it is being followed up. The second question. it doesn't have anything to do with reconciliation, because that's political reconciliation probably. Well, we have, at the time when the Chinese assistance was sought after and when it was brought in, we had a big problem of not having enough of assistance coming from anywhere. Because we were considered not worthwhile of being assisted. You know that. We didn't have. The World Bank didn't have their donor group meetings for us. They said, no, you fellows are very bad. So therefore we don't want to. So therefore, at that time, that government had to show some development also. Probably they were brought in. But as I told you in my presentation, I negotiated with the RBI and our central bank and RBI. I negotiated with the MEA and the Minister of Finance here, and through them to the RBI, the $834 million. It's not a small amount for us. How come it came? It is because I had a dialogue with your people. And then my governor of the central bank was having the same dialogue with your people in the RBI, Mr. Kamalnath Das. So things have to happen. But only thing is, I don't want to be discussing about the politics of this, but then we had to, at that time, I am not for a moment saying the terms, conditions and the impact of these things, they are being criticized in Sri Lanka. Some people are criticizing that type of investment that has taken place. Some people are saying no, what to do, there's no problem. So therefore there is some sort of a question which may be raised, but then at that time no one was giving us any assistance. People are not willing to put the matter about why they are preferring to come. But I have my experience in somewhere in 2000, 1999, something like that. I came and worked as a UN Habitat consultant when Mr. Stalin was the mayor or the chief of the Chennai municipality. I think here can be sort of it somewhere there. I came and worked there, and then I had to go and meet some of these people in small flats, one-story flats, and I came across some of the Sri Lankan Tamil people from the state sector who were there. Now when I'm just telling you something which is 15 years old, it's 18 years old stuff, but I don't think things have changed very much to change from that. What they said was, they were getting their children educated and things like that. Children are small, they were about 10 years or 12 years like that. But I doubt whether they have the same impression right now if you ask them. The reason is they have to get employed, and when you go for employment there could be certain differences in approach by the employers sometimes. So therefore it may be, I'm emphasizing on it, it may be that things have changed in their own minds about how they should be. So therefore we have to consider those issues also. Then about the first question about how far we have worked out with the people. Of course, our Deputy High Commissioner there, he's in close contact with Mr. Chandrahasan and others. They have got a fairly established non-governmental organization which is looking into it. So that's a medium we want to work on. So the Deputy High Commissioner must be having his own contacts points where they would get the information about what they want and how they want and where they want to go and things like that. But I say really the refugee problem cannot be successfully settled unless we in Sri Lanka we give them the feeling that they will be looked after, they have their house, they have their health, they have their sanitation, they have their education, they have employment opportunities, so many things, because you as a young man, you have, if you look at it, you have your parents, extended family, you have your wife and children, your family at home, then your toilet, water, food, job, safety, education, health, all those things have to be, you will consider all that. If you change your house from one place to other place, you will think about it. So the refugees also are human beings. They will also look at those things. So those issues have to be looked at if you want to make good achievement of the refugee problem. So for which I think the host government as well as we can't be called the host government because these are our people. Host government will be Indian government, I think, because they are here. We have been hosting them for 20 years, 25 years, 18 years, like that. But then there should be a very serious dialogue on this matter.
I wanted to understand how are you viewing from Sri Lanka's perspective India's Indian Ocean policy and how you plan to ramp up the maritime cooperation?
You are once again putting me like the problem with the New York Times gentleman try to put me. Maritime policy is a very serious affair which I am not very much well versed. But I know a little bit about it where you are worried about once again whether it is Indian Ocean or some other ocean or something like that. I don't know. I didn't say that. Someone said that because he is going on record. I never said that. Someone said that. I don't know. So I don't know who said that either. So what I want to say is this is once again not in my mandate today.
Speak to you separately.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Speak to you separately, please.
Well, let's see.
High Commissioner, I've been in touch with Chandrahasan.
Yeah.
He has done a lot of work, conducted census of how many people want to go back and what they need and all that. See, they say over the years they have accumulated a lot of things like beds, refrigerators, television sets and all that. Flying them to Colombo and expecting them to find their way to their villages is complicated. They would like ships to be arranged so that they can go from India to,
Kamasandura.
yeah.
Or Trincomalee.
Yes, and they wanted some money to be given to these people so that they can settle down. Government of India has been spending a great deal of money, and you have nearly 100,000 and 5,000 people have gone back.
Yeah.
The reports they are getting from the people who have gone back are positive. A lot of other people also want to go back, but they need some kind of assurance and also some economic assistance. If your government were to take up with the government of India, the amount of money you would be spending on these people, if they had stayed on here for X amount of time, you are better off giving at least a part of it to these people and arrange for the ships, and they can go back.
No, I think what these people have told them was that they would like to be airlifted. If they are airlifted as they are being done now, they can't take anything more than 20 kilograms or 30 kilograms or whatever it is. But then I have discussed this matter with our Secretary Treasury, and he has told me because the problem is they were having the problem of the duty being charged when they take something from here. But I have spoken to the Secretary Treasury. He said no, don't worry about it. He'll look after. So I hope he will stand to stick to his guns on this matter. So therefore, that is one problem. Other problem is we don't have any ships or ferries which can be taking people like that from here. I hope the Indian government will. I will tell the Indian government that you told me that.
Yeah, I think Sushma Swaraj gave an assurance to Chandrahasan that you give me a list of people who want to go. Where do they want to go? Send, from Rameshwaram or this area to Kankesanturai and other places. The
Yeah.
Indian Navy can organize those ships, and that's not a big issue.
Yeah.
But I think the facilities are not in place at your end, and also at this end where people who go there, they need to have immigration facilities and all that.
No, Venkat. About the immigration one, I will look after because it's my job to go there. I will look after. I have spoken to the controller, and he has said no problem, sir. Anytime, whatever place they are brought in, I will ensure that the things will be done. No problem. And he's a fairly dynamic guy, and I'm sure he will do that. The second thing is about looking after them when they go there, because there's a common denomination of how much of money would be given to this house so much, the material so much, then education or whatever. There's a set amount that is there that will be given. The problem is the 5,000-6,000 people who have gone earlier. They say when if there's anything given to the incoming new people, you have to give that to us also because these things are not given to us earlier. So there's a issue like that. So anyway, if we can get a big number going there, we are also having elections probably next year, so that will be useful for the government also to go and say that we have done. So and it will be good for everybody for that matter. So we may have to negotiate, but I am sure the looking after those people at that end for their initial settling down, it is done. There's no problem about it. Immigration will have no problem. The problem will be and about the duty to be given to people who are taking a few things, new machine, washing machine or sewing machine or something like that. That we can look after. I think there's no problem. But there's a much bigger problem is, as you said, how to take them from here by ship or by ferry or whatever it is. That has to be discussed with the government here.
Yeah,
And I have met Madam Swaraj, and when I meet her, I will.
I think you should do that and get Chandrahasan also to join you because she has promised to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, the High Commissioner will be around for some more time, and thank you very much for coming, Excellency, and in appreciation of your visit to our club. We are delighted to offer you the honorary membership of the club.
And I have been very so
It's gives you access to the FCC. You can meet our members, and then you can use our facilities by paying we have specially designed to celebrate our 60th anniversary. And we used to offer you this. We are